Welcome to the Luna Holistic Podcast. I'm your host, Geneva Robbins, and every month on this podcast, we'll talk about Reiki, as well as answering your questions on all things spiritual. We are gratefully located in Calgary in Treaty 7 territory. Thank you all and welcome to the show. Hello, my name is Geneva Robbins, and this is the Luna Holistic Podcast. Welcome. This episode, we are talking about how do you start your soulful career. This is something that I have talked about and thought about and helped people with for many, many years. I've been running my own business in some form or another since 2006. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to staying true to the energy that brought you to the work and also allowing the energy to shift and change as you're meeting different demands of the world and what people are needing from you and balancing it all with self-care. And I do business coaching with this, and I've also got a Energetic 8 business course that is launching this year in fuller form. I've been working on it in bits and bobs behind the scenes, but this is the year that I'm going to publish it and get it into your hands. And yeah, I'm really excited by this because a big part of the work we do here at Luna Holistic is all about helping you shine your light, helping you bring the best of yourself forward and bring your beautiful creative ideas into the world, to let go of some of the things that might be holding you back and to really get moving on the ideas and books and products and services that you might want to bring into the world. So if that sounds like you, this might be the episode for you. If it sounds like someone else, maybe you want to share it with people who have a truly inspired idea, but they've just been sitting on it in their back pocket for far too long. I've worked extensively myself and with others to bring about these ideas and bring them into, tangible products, books, planners, courses, you name it. I've done a little bit of all of the things. And yeah, my goal is always to help you bring that work into the world. So my background is I'm a Reiki master. So I'm not a business person. I'm not an accountant. I can't really help you with the nuts and bolts bits of how do you physically start a business and all of the operations and all of those sorts of things. Luckily, there are people who can and do, they are experts in that, and they can help you with those things. My biggest expertise is helping you move through the energy that might keep you stuck and stagnant. And I think this applies whether you're thinking about launching your own business or switching into a different field or just anything that you really know you want to do. Maybe it's traveling or creating something. A lot of why we don't press start, why we don't move forward has nothing to do with the mechanics of the thing we're trying to make or build. Most of the time, the reason we get stuck is with fears and vulnerabilities and uncertainties. And that is something that I've spent a ton of time as a Reiki practitioner and teacher to support people moving through all kinds of stuckness and move through and forward so that you can bring your light forward with confidence and bring the energy and the ideas and that need to be in the world and need to be in people's hands, bringing them into people's hands. Most of the time, what gets us stuck is that kind of emotional and energetic things and limiting beliefs and thinking patterns. So a lot of the work that I do with the Energetic 8 coaching and this business course is all designed to get you moving, getting you past any of the fears that might be keeping you stuck, things that might be keeping you small and hidden, or just putting you right into lockdown freeze and bringing that forward in a way that will bring these ideas into the world so that you can create maybe the healing center that you've always wanted to build, or write the book you've always wanted to write, or get started on that screenplay, or whatever it is that you might want to experience or create. That's sort of the plan there. So, yeah, let's start with a meditation. Let's jump into a meditation. Let's do our little collective breath of gratitude. If you're driving, keep your eyes open. If you're not, you can gently close your eyes and we'll take a big sigh of relief together. A big grateful breath. How lucky are we to be able to breathe with ease? Just let that breath travel deeper and deeper so that you're breathing lower and lower, breathing into your abdomen, just letting any tension in your shoulders or rib cage, just letting that gently melt, softening your jaw and your face. Inhaling with gratitude and exhaling with gratitude. Noticing the energy below your feet and allowing that energy to connect you to this vast resource of energy, the energy within the earth, within all of life. Noticing your connection with that great wisdom, and just send an energy of gratitude deep into the earth. Notice that gratitude rebounding and flowing back to you. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and your toes. There we go. See, this is my first tool. First tool when you're doing something bold and creative is to pause and meditate. Even a tiny little bit of meditation, even if you don't feel like you can do it all that well, what it does is it connects you into something greater and that bigger energy that is bringing all of these great ideas to you and through you. One of the things that I feel is that these ideas that you get are coming from a greater need, a greater source energy, this infinite wisdom that lives within all things. I tap into it all the time with Reiki, also with meditation, is this idea that we are connected to this divine intelligence and it knows what we're capable of. It knows what we're good at. And we will be given ideas, inspiration, an urge to make, create, and share something that is unique, something that's needed, and something that will help other people. One of the places where people often get stuck is they feel like, oh, it's all been done before. And yeah, it kind of has. And also, it hasn't, because it hasn't been made by you. And great ideas, great concepts need to be repeated over and over and over and over again. One of the authors I follow absolutely loves Dante's Divine Inferno. That was written a long, long, long time ago. and not everybody is going to read it. The concepts in that book are fantastic. But how do you bring those concepts forward for people who might not read, an old Italian book? So I kind of think that we always need to bring forward these ideas and concepts of that we're connected to everything, that we are part of the world and the world is part of us, and that we need to bring more compassion first for ourselves and for others, and that compassion is the energy that changes things and keeps this energy of inspiration and love and peace and connection going and flowing through the world. And definitely we need all hands on deck. So every voice, every idea where we're bringing forth this idea that we are so much more than these little tiny individual humans, but we're connected to something that's so much greater, so much wiser. And there's just hundreds, thousands of ways that energy and idea can be communicated and shared. And no idea is too little or too big to explore with this sort of method. Sometimes we'll say, well, it's only, making bracelets, or it's only, dancing, or whatever it is. We might diminish what we do or think that other people are doing a better version of what we're doing. So why does it matter that we are, contributing our own? It matters for a bunch of reasons. So one is that everybody has a different nervous system. You are going to explain it in a way that I won't even think of explaining these concepts, or you will bring something in a way, or a product that will connect with people in a way that I maybe won't ever think of making. And even if I did, it would be different than the one you make, that you create, that you share. And so there's so many people, and we need all of these different ways and methods of connecting with people, because we need to hear these concepts over and over and over again in many, many, many different ways. So the way you are going to make and share it is going to be different than the way that I would make and share it, or anyone else would. So it's important because it's going to be helpful to other people, and that is going to be helpful to everyone. Also, when we do things that our soul says, this is the thing that I really want to make, this is the thing that I really want to be doing full time, this is the thing that I really want to share with people. If only everybody knew this, how much better would life be? When you put your effort and time into creating those things, it creates joy in your own life, even though it might be a little bit nervy, or you might not know what you're doing at first, or your idea vastly is so much bigger than your skill set right now. That's okay. If you are engaged in soulful work, and this might be work that you get paid for, it might be work that you don't get paid for. But when you're engaged in soulful work, your soul shines and you feel better. You feel connected to something greater. And it brings a sparkle and a magic to your day and to your life. And that alone is worth it. I think of it as creative rest, or it's another way that we feed and nourish our inner being. Even if you have to stay in your full-time job, spending a few hours every week working on creative, soulful things that ultimately make you feel good and nice, and may also make other people feel good and nice, that is important. And that is something that is a way that you can show yourself and demonstrate that you are listening to you, that you are making these things and sharing these things because something deep inside of you says, yes, this is the way forward, and this is what you want to be doing. taking that inspiration and creativity and then expanding it into a business, those are all steps and skills that you will learn along the way. And I can share what I've done and what works for me. And that's mainly what I do with the coaching work that I do is I create everything thinking about the chakras, because that chakra model is a blueprint that we have within our bodies that helps us run as people and beings. We have the 7 major chakras that go from crown to root all the way through the body. Each chakra governs a different area of life. And the aura is the package that contains all of the chakras. So in our Reiki classes, we have 8 lessons for each of the chakras and the aura. And that way we are focusing on each area of life. We get to basically send some energy into each area of life as we're going through the chakras. And it works amazingly well when we teach Reiki in this way. If you're looking at learning Reiki, absolutely check it out on the website because it is life-changing. If you want to learn a tool that will move you through your hesitation, your stuckness, your vulnerability, if you learn to do Reiki, you can do self-healing Reiki, and you now have a skill and tool that you can use to help yourself move through any energies that might be blocking your path. Fantastic. If you are doing something bold and brave and creative and sort of leaning forward into this vulnerable creative space. I don't know how I would be able to do any of this without Reiki. And so it's a primary tool that I use. But even if you're not interested in learning Reiki, there's lots of other tools that I teach, and I help you connect to this chakra system, not only for your own well-being, but also for whatever it is that you are making. So one of my philosophies is that what you're making, your business, has its own energy system. It has its own chakras. And so you can look and take care of each one of those chakras, bringing energy to the creation itself and interacting with the business or whatever you're making. Maybe it's a book, as a separate entity. It's its own thing. It belongs to itself. And it's an energy that you can connect with and communicate with. And when you do, not only does it then feel a little bit less nervy because it's not you that you're putting out there, it is the work. And the work exists for itself, by itself. It has an energy that is being delivered through you. You're the one that's making it, but ultimately it belongs to itself, and it belongs to the world, and it belongs to the people that need it, that are calling for that particular book, work, service. That's the energy in behind all of it. And that's sort of where we start with the aura. And we work our way down through all of the chakras. The crown chakra is about spiritual connection. And so we spend some time thinking about what it is that we believe, what we really want to bring forward, why it's important to you, but also this idea that the work itself is being called forward by an energy and this divine intelligence of the universe, if you will. Or if you connect to guides and angels, maybe it's a divine team or some other, consciousness that has this idea, hey, you'd be really great to make this thing. We can connect with that divine team, that guidance, and receive insight and information from it. Primary way there is to meditate and to tune in. We also spend time with the third eye chakra, which is our center for intuition. So using your intuition to make decisions that balance sort of our intellect, but also where that guidance is leading us and taking us. It's important to have that moment to sort of tune in and know what it is you're doing and why, and how will you know you're on track or off track. That's often a very core feeling, and working with your intuition as you're building your business is really important, because then you are making soulful choices for your soulful career. The throat chakra is about how you talk about what you do. So clearing out any limiting belief or language where it can sometimes be hard to talk about what you're great at, or to sort of proclaim, this is what I think, and this is what I think could be helpful for you. Working with the throat chakra is important, getting your message out, and really thinking about who it is that's on the other end of the line. Who is your audience? Who do you really want this work or this energy, this business to connect with? And how do you want it to land with them so that they will know that this work that you're doing and making is what they need? The heart chakra is our center for love, connection, and empathy, all really important when you're building something soulful. So we spend some time, thinking about why you love what you do. What's the energy behind it? Where's the joy there? We want to make sure that we're still having fun along the way, and connecting into what you love and why you love the work, even if it's the process of writing or expressing or sharing, or the way somebody might light up when they interact with something that you've made or shared. That love energy is sustaining and nourishing. And we also deal with the vulnerability that's there. So it's very normal when you're putting what you really are passionate about into the world to feel very vulnerable, because it's exposing and you are sort of sharing your heart with the world. So how do you manage that vulnerability? Trust me, I have thousands of tools that I use for myself every single day. Vulnerability isn't anything to be feared. It's something to be expected. And it's also where all of the best bits are just past this little layer of vulnerability. And if you can have care for that vulnerable feeling, then it's much easier to flip into the courageous part of the heart chakra, the steadiness, the showing up consistently for what you love to do, and making space and room for that passion inside to be expressed. The solar plexus chakra is our center for confidence. It's also about power and rules and boundaries. So setting kind, wise limits about how you're going to navigate your time, what's okay, what's not okay, setting rules for the business and rules for yourself so that you can stay committed to the work that you are doing, so that you won't flame out or put it aside or not see it through to the end. So that's all solar plexus energy, but also just managing your overall energy. So the energy for all of the things you do has to come from somewhere. So really thinking about what's your self-care plan. So if you're going to launch a business or you're going to create something, how are you going to make sure that you're receiving adequate energy and self-care to sustain what it is that you are making and sharing with the world? So getting adequate rest, having things in balance, not saying yes to everything, being willing and learning how to say a kind no when it is a true no. That's really, really important, because there's only one you. And when you are launching a business, especially if it's a solo career, the work is all based on your energy. If you stop, the work stops. So you need to really be mindful of keeping your energy levels high, reaching out for help when you need help, knowing what sorts of things you might need help with, and staying committed to the plan as you go forward. The sacral chakra is connected to value and exchange of value. So a lot of money flows through the sacral chakra. And so paying attention to the money part, which can be hard for some people, but really claiming your value and asking for what you're worth is a really important part. It's respectful for you, but it's also respects other people because people will pay money for the things that they value. And if you're offering a life-changing service, it's okay to ask for what you need and deserve. You can always create an equity plan or a sliding scale way that people who maybe don't have the means can connect with your service. That's what I've done, and that feels really good to me. And it's really important to stay committed to that value for value. So if you are running it as a business, it's got to make money. If you are running it as a hobby, all of the tools and supplies cost something. So you need to also be sure that you are keeping the books balanced at the end of the day. And so paying kind attention to the money part and clearing out any limiting beliefs that you might have about money or value. Your worthiness is often the biggest hindrance there to making more money. So we work with that. And also passion flows through the sacral chakra. So what you're passionate about, what you love about it, the zestiness of the work you do, and also getting that work shared and into the world. So how are you going to market your message in a way that aligns with you and aligns with the people who are going to connect with you? You don't necessarily have to do social media if that's not your thing. If you don't do social media, chances are the people who really want your service also don't do social media. So that's fine. You can find ways of reaching people in many, many different ways. So thinking creatively and bringing your creativity to all aspects of what you're making and serving people is a big part of this Energetic 8 program. And the root chakra is where we make everything real. So that's where we get that sort of final push to bring things into the world, to launch the products, to feel safe and secure as you are bringing your work to the world, but also our structures and routines. So sometimes it's thinking about what physical tools do you need to bring your work forward, and also what routines do you need? What structures or systems do you need so that you can operate your business well? Or, maybe it's things like what software you need or what kind of massage table you might want if you're going to do Reiki sessions as a business. Thinking about how many sheets do you need, because you're going to need to do laundry if you're doing massage or Reiki and you have sheets on the bed. So it's thinking about those little tiny details. And then also the routine. So as you go through the day, what are the steps along the routine, and how can you make sure that that is nurturing for you, but also nurturing for the people who are interacting with you, your work, and your business. So taking care and making sure that people feel safe and nurtured, that they know what's going to happen next, and reassuring people that when they do buy or connect with you, that they've landed in the right place. This is the right place for them. And so bringing in that sense of connection and community is all part of the root chakra of the Energetic 8. Tying it all back up with that beautiful bow, coming back into the aura, which is the big vision. So along the way, this is sort of an iterative process. So we're always connecting into what is that big dream, and then filtering it through all of the chakras to what's the tiny little baby step? What is the next step that you need to do in the next 5 minutes to move your ideas and dreams forward? So that's sort of the overview of the energetic 8 process that I guide people through with coaching and mentoring. You can book in for a session if that sounds interesting to you. Please do book in. You can book in through lunaholistic.com. And I'm very, very happy to help get your dreams into the world and move through any of the blocks that might be, hindering you or stumbling through where do you start and where do you go next. I subscribe to a model of, it's best to not try to jump into the new thing and not have a safety net. So as much as you might not want to stay in your day job, you need a source of income. And so my approach to building your soul career is to build it along the side and to bring in time, resources, and money that you need to launch this new thing, but just do little bits at a time. That's how I started. I started my business when my son was tiny. I had a full-time job and I was just really building the Reiki thing on the side and teaching classes, doing sessions, renting spaces from other people, and just giving it time to grow so that there wasn't any rush for this brand new little tiny baby idea to be the thing that needed to sustain me. And when it was time to switch gears and do it full time, then I did, and I launched it full time. But that was a process that took years. And so giving everything time and patience to start developing is often the plan that works best for most people. If you can reduce your hours gradually in your day job and increase your hours in your side hustle, that's usually what I recommend to most people, because then you have all of your bases covered. And when it is the next most obvious step, that's when it is time to launch full time. So yeah, it is doable. It does require some commitment and some focus, but that's why you connect to the big energy, the big why, the frequency of love that is, calling your soul forward. That doesn't stop. It doesn't go away. And when you start listening to what you know you need to make and know you need to be creating, or how you can bring your best service to the world, or even, letting yourself explore what that passion might be, that is going to bring so much energy into your life. And that's the interesting thing about it, is that when you start working on your soul career or your soul path, it actually unleashes more energy than you can even imagine. So it doesn't take energy from you, it gives energy to you, because what you're doing is you're freeing up your soul to be expressed in the world. And when you do that, you just feel good, and it's more nourishing than a nap. It's more recharging than, a 2-week holiday somewhere sunny. For me anyway. I mean, everybody has their own thing. But when I am aligned and working on my passion and my vision, and knowing that what I'm doing is helping other people, that sparks something in me and I feel good. It feels good to help people. It feels good to take the ideas that are swirling around and bringing them out and bringing them to the world. So that's really why I love to do this Energetic 8 business coaching and this business course, is because when you start doing Reiki, you get thousands of different ideas and you start seeing people expand and connect to what their soul's calling them to do, make, and share. Once you've cleared away all of the limiting beliefs and the stuckness, the stuck energy, and getting that flowing, what I find is that people start bringing all of these creative ideas forward. And I just want to help you make the stuff you want to make. And if I can help you with this tool, then absolutely, that would be my greatest wish. So where do you go from here? So if you'd like one-on-one coaching with me, sign up with the program through lunaholistic.com. It's a series of 8 sessions that we'll do together. If you'd like to try it out, you can just start with one. We have great rates right now, so you can get a package of 8 sessions. It gives you the whole thing from aura all the way through from crown to root. There's also a business course that I'm building on the Thinkific business online platform. I'll have a link to the business course in the show notes, so you can take a look at that. GenevaRobbins.thinkific.com is where all of the online courses are housed. And those are sort of courses that are designed for you to, watch a little short video. I've deliberately made it so that you can consume it in little tiny chunks on your work breaks or when the kids have gone to bed. I understand that you have a very busy, full life, so you don't have to have great, huge chunks of time set aside. You can watch a little video, percolate on it, do a little bit of writing, and then come back to it every day, every week. And you just move your business forward or your creative idea forward by little baby step after little baby step. So that will be launching in full this January. Keep an eye on all of the websites if you want to sign up for a newsletter. That's a really great idea. I'll mention when the next events are happening. Tentatively, we've got a webinar planned for January 20th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you would like to have a moment to ask all of your questions, to work through maybe what idea you want to, connect with and delve in a little bit deeper about what this energetic business planning course program is all about, that would be a great resource for you. It's a totally free webinar, so you can just, connect in and try it out and see if it would be helpful for you. So I love all of that. I hope that this has inspired you to take a little tiny baby step towards what you would like to make, share, or connect or create. If you would like help with brainstorming what the idea is, I'm also great at helping you clarify what your own soul needs to bring forward into the world and letting the ideas within you come up and shine. So, and as always, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us on the Luna Holistic Podcast. We're so grateful that you are here. If you've got a question, we'd love to hear from you. Go to lunaholistic.com/podcast and we'll answer you in an upcoming episode. Be sure to subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And also please rate, because you never know where your little 5 stars will go to shine light into somebody's heart today. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.